Hi, I'm Kerrie Stanley.
And I'm Dolly Diamond.
And welcome to Kerrie and Dolly.
Oh, wow.
We are in a good mood,
we're
people.
ready.
Look how we are unstoppable tonight.
We mean business.
Yeah, you got the memo about the blue tones and stuff. We're wearing blue, but we are
I love it.
anything but blue tonight because we've got such a great lineup.
Oh, loads of amazing guests.
Yeah, lots of great chats to happen and music and
crust.
all of that stuff. Yes, so hoping the tech gods are working on our side as they do each and every week.
Yes.
You know, so, yep.
Yeah, we're ready. And wherever you may be watching around the world, we want to get your messages right now on social media. Get on there.
Lovely.
Yes.
So we were chatting off air. Actually, we're playing some really good music. You know, music's key, isn't it, to make you feel good? I think that's why we're kind of a bit like, woo, that and the coffee. I'm like, but we were chatting. You asked me, Dolly, the question of the day is, what am I grateful for? I think that's a really great question. I'm grateful for this.
Yes.
You know, I'm really grateful for this show. It's interesting enough. Every time I go to sleep and I, try and just be present in the moment, and I run through a series of I am grateful for, and it's as simple as I'm grateful for my comfy pillow, the roof over my head, the food on my table, all of those kind of things. They may be simple, but they bring you into mindfulness, and I think that's really important in these times.
Yeah, I need more. I need more. No, you're right. Obviously, you're right. And but we want to know what you are grateful for. The reason is, it is very easy right now to have a good old whinge, and I've done that.
And that's okay to do
I
that.
don't mind
you know
it.
what? It's all right, but sometimes it's easy to stay in that mindset when you're feeling really blah, and that's not dismissing it if you are, of course, but
not with us.
No, but it's also we need these little tips and tricks sometimes to help pull ourselves out of it. And having mindfulness and being, honouring what you're grateful for, I think is one of those things.
Absolutely. Let us know. Maybe it was today. Maybe you're doing it tomorrow. Maybe it's something you want. Anything. Let us know, and we'll spread that love around like it were manure.
Oh, please not. That's
no. Spread it around.
I was thinking you were going to say something like, I know, Nutella.
No, manure is good. This is good shit. We are going to move on now with a little bit of music, and I know that music will lift your spirits no end, and this young man is one of the best. The one and only Trevor Jones. Me
you up and dancing a little bit. And Ash and Jean-Pierre, of course, doing his amazing signing, as always. It's like, ooh, yeah.
That man, though, Trevor Jones, is amazing. There isn't a festival in the land that man's not been at and wowed everybody. He gets even the most dull, mundane characters up out of their seats and joining in, and that's why we love him.
I wouldn't assume that, though, he'd attract many dull and mundane characters.
They are everywhere. They are out
But are they
there.
hiding in plain sight?
Yeah, well, I mean, you're dragging someone along, aren't you?
True.
You know, and I don't really want to go. We are going, and he gets them up. He is amazing. Now there may be a few gremlins.
Yeah, we've had a few messages about Facebook glitching a little bit, so hopefully it's all being ironed out now. It's not on our end.
No,
it's
we're all right. We're all right. We're all right. We're all right.
The Facebook, the land of Facebook, hopefully is playing nicely with us. But so bear with us. We
don't know what's going on. We don't do that bit.
No, we just do this bit.
I rang Mark Zuckerberg. Nothing.
He tweeted him.
Yeah. You know what we need?
What?
News.
Uplifting news.
Our news with our Judy.
Judy Kelly from Joy News with an optimist's bent on what's making news. The Rainbow Local Government campaign was launched this week, addressing candidates' LGBTIQA plus priorities in the upcoming Victorian Council elections. The campaign, coordinated by the Victorian Pride Lobby, invites candidates to take a pledge to stand by the rights, safety and inclusion of LGBTIQA plus people in their communities. Voters can find out which of their local candidates have taken the pledge or identify as LGBTIQA plus on the Rainbow Votes website. Trans Hub, the digital information and resource platform for trans and gender diverse people, has won a gold accolade at the prestigious Good Design Awards. ACON's peer-led platform, written by trans people of all genders for trans people of all genders, won in the Digital Web Design and Development category. The jury comments recognised the resource as unique in Australia in its design by an entirely trans-led team. And finally, for now, in more tech-related news, .gay website domains will finally be available from this month. A few early adopters are already live on the domain, while the big .gay launch started this week for early access orders, with general availability from September 16th. The project has been a decade-long process and described as an historic step forward that signals support for LGBTIQ people, causes and businesses. And a portion of domain sales revenue will go to LGBTI organisations. I'll be back a little later with more from Joy News.
Always brings good.
Judy.
Yeah, wonderful.
And Olivia.
Lovely.
Oh, Joy News. Not Olivia.
Lauren.
Lauren.
We had
Our
Olivia previously, but
lovely
welcome to Lauren. Yes,
Oh.
that's all right.
Wonderful. I have a look at the earrings, would you? Look at those.
A little bit of promo.
Little dazzlers.
So last year, we were actually in Broken Hill for the Broken Hill Festival. You were there.
Loved it.
Sexy Galaxy was performing as one of the headliners, and I was there too. That's the earrings. We're meant to be there this time around.
Another one.
Yeah, another one's gone. But of course, like any good business, they have turned it around. Pivot. And this week, pivot, I know that is the word really of the month, isn't it? But this time around, they're actually doing Broken Hill TV. So this weekend you can tune in. They're doing great shows. All the Glambassadors. So there's five queens. You've got Art Simone.
There's our queen.
Filma Box. You've got Jemima
Art
Handfield.
Simone.
Yep.
Art's just had a birthday.
Yes, happy birthday to Art from yesterday.
45. Unbelievable.
And Child's way under 30.
Oh.
But anyway, they're doing some great shows over the weekend. You can tune into them via the Facebook page and, of course, their website.
Yes.
And they're also coming to, they are doing some local things in Broken Hill themselves, just capturing a little bit of what they can because they're in their little safe bubble.
And we love them.
Yeah, so I very much, it was the best festival I've ever been to.
Yes, if you've never been, you've really got to go. And next year, I mean, it'll
be on. Can't wait.
Yes,
Yeah.
gangbusters.
Now, it's time for a chat with someone I absolutely adore. Zan Rowe really is a music aficionado. That's
Yes.
a big word to say. But for someone who knows so much about Australian music, especially being on Triple J and Double J networks, works for ABC, an internationally renowned music lover, we're going to have a chat with her now.
We're ready. She loves music, doesn't
Absolutely. Zan Rowe, are you there, honey?
Hello, Kerrie. Hello, Dolly. So
Oh, we are so thrilled that you could join us. Got the memo. Not, that was just pure coincidence. The universe is aligned to have you with us. You know, we're ABC family, as you know, and I've had the pleasure of working with you and seeing you over many, many years, Zan. But, you know, if there's something going on in the music world,
You know your
you
music.
know it. Like, have you always been that way? Like, where did that come from, Zan?
I think that, I've always loved music and finding new music, but also, you know, I'm a big music fan. So I think that the knowing stuff, doing it every day, you know, like anyone, as long as you do something every day, you get really good at it. And I'm not saying that I'm really good at it. I just have a lot of information in my head. I can't.
You are.
You are really good at it.
You are.
I mean, if Paul McCartney is going to grace you with an interview and an exclusive, you know you're good at it.
Yes.
I mean, you know, we are such big fans of your Take 5 podcast, and
Oh,
I know
thank you.
you even posted today, like you're having a little trip down memory lane about it. I mean, the artists that you meet on that, you know, you're just blown away, and I know you're genuine when you meet these or work with these people.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's, you know, I was having a bit of a moment in the last day. I think it's because, you know, we're all sort of seeking human connection, and that's one of the most, the proudest moments of my career, but also one of the most biggest joys of my life every week as a music fan, and also someone who loves to, you know, dig deep and have a really solid conversation with anyone who's got a story. I love the Take 5 for that reason. So I was having a bit of a moment on my Instagram last night, just going back into some of the stories and thinking about some of the people whose stories we've been able to share through that. I think the thing with the Take 5 that I really get a buzz out of every week is that, and you guys would know this, often when you speak to people about something that they're used to talking about, you know, even if they're really great and professional, they sort of get worn down and give you the same answers sometimes. You sort of get the same old stuff. But with the Take 5, you're not asking an artist about their songs. You're usually asking them about the songs they love, you know, them as a fan. And it's incredible to see that flip and the vulnerability that comes with that, because music is such an emotional trigger for us. It has a real sensory memory. There's songs that we hear when we go to the shops and it's like, oh, all of a sudden I'm 16 and I'm down at the beach over summer, or, you know, this is the song that I lost my virginity to, better or worse, or, you know.
I don't remember that.
My boyfriend lost his virginity to Hanson's Mbop. He's probably going to
Really?
That's one of the best ones I've ever heard.
He's obviously very young.
Very young.
And you've just celebrated your 10th anniversary too, so congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, what an innings, isn't it? Time flies.
Yes.
It's fun.
What's on your list then, number one, that you would love to interview?
Patti Smith is my number one. She's on my bucket list. And she's someone who we were trying to get a Take 5 with her when she was due to come out for Blues Fest earlier this year, which has been postponed. She's hopefully coming out next year, we'll see. And David Bowie was another one that was always way up at the top of my list. Obviously, that's never going to happen. But I did have an amazing experience last year when I was in Germany for another sort of work event that I was doing. And I got to do a Take 5 with Tony Visconti, who was his longtime producer, pretty much, you know, side by side with him on all of his biggest records. And I spent some time with Tony over the course of a week on a project that we were doing, and I got to do a Take 5. And hearing him tell David Bowie stories as we sat at a bar together in Hamburg was pretty amazing. I don't like to drop names, but that was just like, you know, those moments when you're talking to someone and you're just kind of like smiling and trying not to look too excited because you don't want to scare them off, but at the same time,
you want to remember everything.
That was a great Take 5, and I also particularly loved the sound engineer. Forgive me if I can't remember the woman's name, who worked with Prince.
Susan Rogers.
Thank you, Susan Rogers. Yes, that was terrific too. When you chat with those that work with the greats, And you don't talk about the greats, you talk about them. And I think that's really key, isn't it? Because you're not going through them to get to the big names. You're really interested in the people themselves, and that's a blessing. It's really good.
And everyone has a story. This is the thing. And I think this is something that's really great to remember as we pass people on the streets, or if we're feeling disconnected. You know, everybody has such a huge story behind them. You just need to ask the right questions to find out what it is.
And that's what we love, isn't it? The right ones. If you get the right ones, we love it. I don't know if this is the right one, but you are off in a little while to go and watch a little bit of comedy. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. I'm actually going to be watching a live stream comedy night tomorrow night with Comedy Republic, which is some friends of mine who basically they've been working towards opening a comedy room in Melbourne. And they had been working towards it long before they knew that coronavirus was going to come about, and then they opened it and soon after had to be shut down. So like so many businesses and arts organisations, they've had to flip and try something new, and they've been doing fun stuff like comedians talking over movies and doing comedy nights that are streamed and sort of making that work. So they just started. I'm going to be watching Comedy Republic tomorrow night for a bit of a Friday night giggle, because I feel like at the end of the week you just sort of need to
need it.
I think we all need it.
Reese Nicholson.
Yes, Reese Nicholson is one of the founders of Comedy Republic. His partner, Kyron Wheatley, who's also a broadcaster and a comedian, and Alex Dyson, who some people might remember, he used to host Triple J Breakfast for years and years, and is one of the most, I call him Gumby, he's one of the most physical comedians I've ever met. And they're all just brilliant people who had a dream and a sort of an idea, and I really hope that it can keep going, through this pandemic and for a long time afterwards.
Well, like so many things, events and festivals, and put on hold, placed over there, come for next year. You're seeing that time and time again, Zan, with all the the festivals that you talk about and the bands that you talk about coming through. We will see them again. We will come through this, and in the meantime, we're kind of checking them out online.
Yeah, and there's so much available as well. I think that, it's easy to get bogged down, but I think that when you're in something, you feel like you're really in it. But we will get through this. This too shall pass. Life is long, and there's so much incredible art in Australia and around the world. And those artists are still around. We all sort of joke about, in the office, we joke about the great albums that are going to come out in 8 to 10 or 12 months' time, because everybody's got so much time to create right now. But also no pressure. If you want to sit on the couch and eat Tim Tams in your tracky dacks, that's fine as well. But yeah, it's there's plenty of ways to look at that. I've been watching a few live streams of different artists who are performing. And I think one of the great things is that you get to see artists in a really different way. Like I saw an artist last week called Angel Olsen, who is an American artist, and it was such a beautiful set that was performed in her hometown of Asheville, North Carolina. And Asheville, from what I understand, is quite an artsy sort of town. It looked like she was in one of those sort of Shakespeare in the Park kind of settings. So she's surrounded by the woods. She's there completely by herself. The light is falling, and I'm just thinking, I'm just transported right now to the other side of the world. You could tell it was hot because of, she was wearing stuff, this beautiful dusk sort of balmy night. There's something really beautiful about that. We get to travel a little bit,
it's
even
all a little bit more real,
screens.
isn't it?
Yeah. And I think that people are more, audiences are so much more forgiving of the way that we have to do things in these lockdown times.
Yes.
Also, artists are being incredibly generous by showing their space and sharing parts of their lives with people. So I think that if anything, this coronavirus pandemic has really taught me how much we crave human connection, how much we need it for ourselves, for our community, and thank God for the internet. Thank God for the internet.
That's exactly right. If we didn't have that, we'd all be a little bit scary, wouldn't it? But Zan, we could talk to you for hours and hours. Sadly, we cannot, so we're going to have to let you go. But darling, we will hear you on our radios and see you on your Insta stories, because I love seeing those. And thank you so much for joining us, darling.
Such a joy. Thanks so much for having me, guys.
What a great conversation. And we
Really
could have
lovely.
talked for hours and hours and hours. Let's see what everyone else is saying. So I'm using my phone tonight because my iPad's given me the errors, people. But anyway, technology. Oh yes, so much love for Zan. Loving this interview. Thank you, David. And Savannah's saying, I love David Bowie. God, didn't we all? Yes. And yes, we need to laugh by the end of the week. Hello to Michael. And Cameron Thomas. Yay, Zan! Yay! No.
Cameron Thomas.
I
Now,
think-
there's a name. You don't want to, remember.
Ben,
No, I used to work way
When you worked.
in live, when we did live venues, and Cameron used to, have a go at anyway, it doesn't matter. Jim Ramsey over in Canada.
Yeah. Hello, Jim. Jim
hello.
always watches us. We're very thankful.
He is grateful to be able to catch up with David Beards, another one of our regulars.
Yes, thank you to
well,
both
we are
of you.
grateful to both of you. We love it, and I love you, Cameron.
Amazing. Oh, it's time for our community darling,
Oh,
isn't it?
yes, release him into the wild.
Wonder what he's going to be wearing.
We never know.
Never know. Shall we check it out?
I'm ready.
Darling Dean, are you there, honey?
Hello, Kerrie and Dolly.
Oh, you got the blue memo, darling.
I did, but of course it's me, so I bring a bit more unicorn, a little bit of rainbow. But
Yes.
we're all
I
in
love
sync.
it.
It's wonderful.
Yes.
Very nice. Now, darling, how are you? We're talking about Are You OK Day, which is tomorrow. Now, we know midweek because you were very much on your socials and you did reach out, which was great, because you weren't in a good space and the response, I believe, was quite overwhelming. But how are you doing now?
I'm doing really well. Yep, it is Are You OK Day today. And that was very seeing a lot today with all the posts and everything in the morning was a little bit overwhelming, I'm sure, for a lot of different people. But then when I was reading different people's posts and talking to people about it, you know what Are You OK Day is like? Some people go, am I okay? Of course I'm not okay. Some people do memes. But it's so important to listen to what people are saying. And for me, you're right, the other night I put up that post because suddenly I just wasn't feeling all right. Everything just kind of hit me and I felt really down for the first time in this entire lockdown in 7 months. I felt really down. And the outpouring was lovely. Dolly gave me a call, which was really nice. People were sending me messages. I'm still getting messages today, which is really wonderful. And I just had that blip. And it's really important when you're not doing okay to kind of say, I'm not feeling all right. And on a day like today, being, Are You OK Day, being World Suicide Awareness Day, it's even harder because, are any of us really okay right now across the world with lockdown and pandemics and all these different things? Are any of us really okay? But I think it's wonderful that we have these spaces to be able to talk and to be able to share stories so we can all breathe a little bit and say, I'm not all right. Because doing that for me, I felt like a weight had been lifted off me the next day. I felt like I'd slept for 2 months and I hadn't. It was just wonderful to share.
Yeah, I rang and immediately you were, no, I'm all right. Which is, you're not all right. And I knew you would be all right. But it is about reaching out and waiting. I watched on Facebook, Sarah Ward mentioned it's all right to ask, but be ready for the answer.
You're exactly right.
I may not be all right and I may want to go with my why I'm not all right.
Yes.
It's all about that, isn't
Absolutely. Because for me, it depends on the time of the day, the day, the week, the moment. Because it can, well, no, not anymore, darling. I'm out the other side. Oh, no ladies' days for me.
Yay, getting old.
Woo! Chin hairs. No, sorry. Anyway.
What the heck?
Yeah. But it's interesting that Dean, that you had that immediate defense mechanism. Not defensive, that's not the right word. That
is
to go,
a little.
oh no, I'm okay.
Yeah,
Okay. And because we've been really conditioned to
And
say that.
you are always all right. You are the one that is always that.
That's true. I am that. I'm always that razzle dazzle. I'm doing that positivity. But it was that thing as well. If Dolly was not even sure that I was all right, there may have been a text or whatever. But the minute I put that out, I wasn't even thinking. And it's the first time I really put out a message like that on social media. And of course, my first response was, no, I'm fine, Dolly, I'm fine.
Yes.
But it's that thing as well. Dolly and I have that relationship where if one of us isn't okay, we pick up the phone and call. And I feel very grateful to have that in you because it's so important to have those people to say it's not all right, but it's also been wonderful. And the people that reached out to me, some people are gay acquaintances, Some people are close. My mum today sent me a message just going, just checking in. Are you all right? And I went, Mum, I think you mean, are you okay? And she goes, yeah, you don't get it wrong. And this is the thing. I'm speaking to my mum each and every day, but it's that lovely thing of just going, hey, everyone, and whether you send a message during WhatsApp, whether you just put up something positive, like what I do with those rainbow caftans, whatever you do to put some energy out there to make people feel okay is okay.
Yes.
But you're right, like you mentioned, Kerrie, it's so important for us to say, hey, it's just saying, are you okay? It's really important that you also go, you know what, you need to be ready for the answer.
Yeah.
You need to be ready to be able to listen to people and be there for them. And remember, it's really just about listening.
Yes.
Yep.
What is in your wonderful segment this evening?
Well, I'm very excited for tonight's Community Darling. Now, I mean, it is Are You OK Day, it's Women's Health Week, it's World Suicide Awareness Day, but I'm not touching on any of that. Instead, what I've decided to do is speak to some LGBT disabled people in our communities and find out how they've been handling COVID and what things have been like for them.
Great. It'll be another great segment.
Yeah.
Darling, thank you so much. We will speak to you very, very soon. Lovely seeing you, honey.
It's pretty much the same thing at the moment. It's the instant discrimination or instant down-looking on people when they're trying to ask for help.
Like everyone else, my brain has just been going 100 miles an hour for no freaking reason whatsoever.
So people always look at people with disability where I know very fine.
It's been easy for me to be able to adjust and adapt to having to do everything that I usually did before COVID here within my home office.
My hearing impairment is very much like when you've got waterlogged ears. It's like talking into a plastic cup where it's muffled, it's distorted, but I don't hear things behind me.
Particularly with the first isolation, I can remember not coping well at all. I found it quite restrictive. I found it like I was going back to square one in some respects with my health levels in every sense of the word.
It's been really hard for me to be home because I'm such a social person. It really interesting because before COVID, I didn't like to be home. But now I'm laughing being home.
It wasn't that hard or difficult for me to having to kind of change my routine.
Put a mask in front of someone's face that covers primarily all I hear. For myself, when I'm looking at someone and interacting with them, I'm going off visual cues. I'm using a lot of lip reading as well. I don't have a visual or audible excuse for having hearing impairment. So a lot of people don't look at me and go, well, I have to speak up or anything like that. So I'm self-confident enough to actually ask people, look, I can't hear you, can you please speak up? But the looks that you get over the top of a face mask when you do tell someone, I'm hearing impaired, it's one of two things. Either they condescendingly look down or they sigh it off like, oh joy, someone else that can't understand me.
I'm pretty independent for the most part, but there are limitations, and I've had to realise my limitations, and for those limitations, I have support staff. I just require an hour at each end of day just to help me get up, get dressed, and then at the end of the day, settle.
So because my interpretation, like a lot of people with disability are not even eligible for that job either. I'm being compensated because of my disability support person.
Any outdoor time that I can get, that's been a godsend.
I haven't been able to engage in any relationship with any man in the last few months, but I do miss that closeness and the physical interaction that a lot of people with disabilities crave.
When you're asking for help, you're not getting it. They may not realize they're even doing it, but it's kind of a little bit of a self-shame, if you will, that you're having to ask them to do something that's out of their comfort zone, even though they're trying to be safe around you. So for me, going out, I try not to at the moment.
There was a huge feeling of just entrapment. I felt trapped in every sense of the word, particularly if you're heavily reliant upon support services. There is some people with disabilities out there that need, half a day or 24-hour support. Now, trying to maintain that, you've got to keep your house clean. You've got to make sure you've got all the right PPE. We have so many other aspects to consider in not only keeping ourselves safe, especially if we have other health conditions that are being maintained.
The person with a disability or who are disabled, they can't go out whenever they want to, because they have to keep on making sure that they are going to be able to go somewhere that it is 100% COVID safe.
If I was to be very, very unwell, like bronchitis or worse, for me to be on a ventilator and things like that, where they need to use, for instance, blood thinners or anything like that, can't use them on me. I can't have high-grade painkillers or muscle relaxants. It will kill me. So for me to be unwell is a risk. So social interaction, it's, do you want to stay healthy? And for me, yes. So it's just easier. Wear a face mask for me, wash my hands, stay at home as much as possible. The stage 4 lockdowns aren't easy, and the ability to expand this little bubble of ours to have an extra person is a good idea, but it doesn't work for all households. So still reach out, make sure everyone's okay, talk on the phone, talk on Zoom, make that contact. We all need it.
Are You OK Day is Thursday, September 10. And this year the message is, there's more to say after Are You OK? What do you do if you ask someone, are you okay? And they say no? Any ideas? Anything? Hello? There's more to say after Are You OK? Take time to listen. Encourage them to take action or find support. And remember to check in regularly to see how they're doing. Use the resources from ruok.org.au to learn how to keep the conversation going and share the message in your community, because a conversation could change a life.
Yeah, great message, not just for now, but for always.
Always, and Dean, wonderful as usual. Wonderful.
Yeah, a couple of messages too. Thank you for checking in with us. So Brent says, just when we think we're doing it hard, someone out there is doing it much worse. Love and hugs to everyone, and to you too, Brent.
Love that.
Thank you. And to Pasquale. Great story, Dean. Sending love and hugs to you all. Thank you.
The Dame.
Yeah. The Dame.
The Dame.
A beautiful story, Dean. Thank you, Dean. Yeah, great. He always brings great messages and stories to us each and every week.
Yeah, the arts. We know that the arts. Is it all right?
It's all right now.
Oh,
small mercies. I mean, really.
He is a nightmare when things don't go right. I'm obviously very easygoing. The arts is something that we know is struggling. And there's, it's one of those who will be the very last most likely to come back. And it is underfunded, under-supported, isn't it?
It is, but so many of our members out there are doing their best to, support themselves and each other, get the message out there, keep their spirits high, get creative.
Yeah.
And I saw this clip online the other day. It was posted by one of my Harry Potter actors, Connor. And I saw them, went, oh, this is really good. So, of course, I messaged the Dolloy and,
we got it on.
We've got it on, and here it is. Check it out.
Rewind. Remember better days, they feel like a lifetime ago. We waited in the wings to sing in the spotlight's endless glow.
Now I'm looking out to see all the empty seats, not a soul inside. But I know a better day will come if we hope and we hold on tight.
Open doors again, there'll be a chorus then. Can't you see that there's a renaissance coming?
Sun will never shine so bright, smiles will never be so right. We will dance at dawn when we return. No more waiting, no more fear, all the clouds will disappear. You'll be standing here when we return.
There's still a longing to create a spirit you can't subdue.
Through the silence, there's a sound that always makes it through.
With stories still to tell, every show, every song, every single word.
It won't be long till all the stories still to tell are heard.
Open doors again, there'll be a chorus then. Can't you see that there's a renaissance coming?
Sun will never shine so bright, smiles will never be so wide. We will dance at dawn when we return. No more waiting, no more fear, all the clouds will disappear. You'll be standing here when we return.
You can't see us, but we're right here next to you.
You can't feel us, but we're holding on, it's true. There's gonna be a symphony of voices when we make it through. So stand up, sing out, you know what to do. Sun will never shine so bright, smiles will never be so wide. We will dance at dawn when we return. No more waiting, no more fear, all the clouds will disappear. You'll be standing here when we return. Sun will never shine so bright, smiles will never be so wide. We will dance at dawn when we return. No more waiting, no more fear, all the clouds will disappear. You'll be standing here when we return. When we return, when we return, when we return. We will dance when we return. You can see us, we are right next to you. You can feel us, we are holding on, it's true. You can see us, we are right next to you. You'll be standing here when we return.
That
Love
is
it.
just great. So much
Really
talent in one clip. I mean, and also to put that all together.
Yes.
That's just a feat in itself. So well done,
I
team.
believe written by Jess Newman and Neil Gooding is,
Neil Gooding Productions,
yeah.
yeah. Actually, there was quite a few of those productions in that clip that I went, oh, I recognise that. And went, yeah,
Yes.
we'll get there once again.
Ainsley, the lovely Ainsley and David and Gemma and oh my lord, it goes on. Amazing.
Fabulous. Time for another chat. Now, this lovely man, like he's been around the comedy scene for a very, very long time. Of course, for those of you that are around, I think probably 20, or I don't know how many years ago, the Doug Anthony All-Stars, which was my favourite in their time. Tim Ferguson, he's known as the comedic icon here in this country and internationally. He's joining us right now. Hello, Tim.
Hey, Kerrie. Hi, Dolly.
Oh, we've got royalty in the house here.
Well, we wrote on all our social media the iconic Tim Ferguson.
Yeah, how do you feel about that title? Because it is really well deserved. Let me just say quickly to the younger viewers of our audience, if you're not across Doug Anthony All-Stars, please take a big deep dive down there, because that was way back when, but that's where you started. But that's why you're an incredible talent, Tim.
Oh, well, thanks very much. I don't know if that's deserved, but iconic. Well, I mean, you get called an icon in the same way that, if you're a prostitute for long enough, people have to call you madam. And so I guess, it's just having done something for the same thing for a long time. You're either tapped on the head and told it's not working, or you're called an icon.
I mean, there are a lot of comedy sluts out there, as we know. But you, I believe that is, with all that you've done, and it isn't only, as we know, the Doug Anthony All-Stars, you've done a lot on your own. But nowadays, what are you doing now? I think just a little earlier you showed us you've been doing some art. Is that right?
Oh, yes. I've been doing art. Arty art. This one's going to America.
Wow, gorgeous.
A picture of Ubu, which was a play I know that Dolly did as a young person. And so they go all around the world. So that's always exciting.
And they commission you?
They do, yeah. They get in touch, and I've got to do something for someone in Oslo, which sounds like a really good band name. But, the people get in touch. They say they want something a bit like this, a bit like that. So I've been doing that this afternoon. But otherwise, like everybody else, like I've been locked up. I've been at home since February, and I've been loving it because most of the time, a bit like you guys, I'm traveling half the time.
Yes.
Most of the time I'm in a hotel. I've got a bag. You can see I've got a giant suitcase behind me.
Yeah.
And it's just been nice to be at home with my beautiful Canadian, who is, she's not here right now, but if she was here, she'd be hiding anyway. Trust me. And so I've been, doing, okay. I've been relaxing at last.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now, Tim, I was going to say, like so many of our performers that we know and love, they're doing what they can. Pivoting is the word, isn't it? They're getting online, they're doing new things. Now, you've got this really great workshop coming up. Tell us about that.
Oh, yeah. I've been doing kind of how to write comedy, how to write sitcoms, how to do stand-up comedy the last few weeks. And this Sunday, I'm telling people how to pitch their ideas. Because you work so hard on it, like you did with your show, but then eventually you've got to go and find a producer, and you've got to ruin their life by saying, we will be dominating every thought you have for the next several months, if not years. And so I tell people what kind of things they have to write, and also ways to, actually sit there and pitch without being too nervous about it.
But that is, I mean, a lot of us are all right with the writing of something. It may be laborious, it may be really difficult, but that is the bit, isn't it? It's getting it over the line.
Yeah, you work for months and months, sometimes years on a project, and then you've only got, maximum 5 minutes to explain it to someone. Yeah. Because think about it, if I had to explain an idea to you, if it took me 10 minutes, then you'd figure, how on earth am I going to get this even just into a little bite size tonight?
Yeah.
On Kerrie and Dolly, if it takes 10 minutes, that's half the show gone. So it's all about boiling it down, and how do you boil it down? That's the trick.
And Tim, the previous workshop that you've run, like how to write and how to execute and so forth, are they still accessible to people? So can they still find that somewhere? On your socials and everything? Yep.
Yeah, Kerrie, I'll be doing more of those, which you'd think that you can't show people how to be funny or how to do stand-up. And to a certain extent, you can naturally find stuff. But at the end of the day, if it's working, I can guarantee I can take the fun out of it by pointing out the invisible, the little structures that work. And sometimes it's just, a joke with two meanings, a word with two meanings, but it can be more elaborate than that, particularly if you're writing sort of a comic movie. When we watch it and go, I don't know why it's funny. There can't be any plan, it's just working. But usually you can pull it back and, if you want to improve it, there are things you can do, tools and techniques. And I show them. I ruin comedy for everybody.
Oh, look, there's so many streaming services now. They're putting lots of money behind it. I mean, yes, there's a pandemic and we're trying to all scrounge for finances, but I think, once we come through this, there's people that are really wanting content. So, great timing for you to put all of your expertise out there.
Yes.
For people to watch and learn from you because they're very lucky.
Love you.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us, Tim, and amazing for getting your artwork to all around the world. That's pretty cool.
Love you too, Kerrie. Adore you, Dolly. I really am not worthy, mostly because I've been very bad.
We love that. I love naughty. All the best, my love.
Mwah.
What a thrill to speak to that man. That was amazing.
Lovely,
I have loved him for a very long time. Such a talent. And I did not know he's an artist.
Yes.
I've always known him for his comedy. So.
Oh, we are. That's what we do. No, I'm not. No, isn't he lovely though?
Yeah, heaven.
Really
that was
lovely.
a great chat. Time for some music?
We need a bit of music. You knew, didn't you? You read my mind like a cheap magazine. And we love these girls. They're new to us, aren't they?
Very much. I like so many of the talent that you bring to the show, Dolly.
We get.
Yeah, so, they're fun. This clip is good
we
fun.
We mined this one, didn't we? Oh, I know. I reckon these girls are going to be an absolute hoot. Get ready for FLAXXON.
Your Barbie doll. I can be my own boss. I don't need you here, cause I am perfect on my own. Buying all my own things, all those little pretty things, like me like a Barbie doll. I want you to love me like a real girl. Love my curves and my thighs, not your little Barbie doll. Don't want my own kid. If I wanted one, I'd let you know. I'll make my own protocol. Do my makeup and my hair, undress me like you just don't care. Always gotta be a 10. I need your Barbie doll. I'm perfect on my own. Better sitting on my throne. That I don't need you no more. I need your Barbie doll. Figure, make it pop. Be a lady, make it stop. Proper ain't my game to play. Only seen but never heard. That is not what I prefer. I am gonna do my way. I want you to love me like a real girl. Love my curves and my flaws. I'm not your little Barbie doll. Don't want my own kid. If I wanted one, I'd let you know. I'll make my own protocol. Do my makeup and my hair, undress me like you just don't care. Always gotta be a 10. I need your Barbie doll. I'm perfect on my own. Better sitting on my throne. That I don't need you no more. I need your Barbie doll. Call me like you want, dress me like you want. Treat me how you want, make me what you want. Call me like you want, dress me like you want. Treat me how you want, make me what you want. Do my makeup and my hair, undress me like you just don't care. Always gotta be a 10. I am perfect on my own, look better sitting on my throne. Glad I don't need you no more. Do my makeup and my hair, undress me like you just don't care. Always gotta be a 10. I need your Barbie doll. I'm perfect on my own. Better sitting on my throne. That I don't need you no more. I need your Barbie doll. Makeup and my hair, undress me like you just don't care. Always gotta be a 10. I need your Barbie doll. I'm perfect on my own. Better sitting on my throne. That I don't need you no more. hide your body, yeah, hide your body,
I love them.
Ooh, fun.
Oh, amazing.
It's like, what? You know, the energy that they bring. It's amazing.
We're all about the FLAXXON. They are with us right now. Good evening, ladies.
Good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh,
we are very excited that
they
you've
rang
joined.
each other up. What are you wearing? I'm going to wear this.
We're going to wear the same thing. And like colour matching you. And
Yes.
What amazing.
Well, we absolutely love your song, and
Thank you.
which one is which? Which one are you? Which one are you?
So I'm Yolanda, and obviously that's Yasmin. Hi.
Oh,
Now, darling girls, tell us about the song behind it. What are you doing? What are you doing through ISO? Tell us what's going on in your lives.
Beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. So obviously we are identical twins. We've been singing and performing since the age of 5, all across Melbourne, Australia, and just trying to get our name out there. We are called FLAXXON, and during isolation, it's been a bit of an interesting one. Obviously, 2020 hasn't exactly gone to everyone's plan, but we've used it as our way. We've always wanted to write an album, and that was our main thing as singers, performers, and entertainers. An album was always on the cards. We did study a Bachelor of Criminal Justice because our mum has always said, I know it's very different. Our mum,
You got to have the parents always saying you got to have a backup plan.
You got to have a backup. I know. And so we thought we could do the criminal justice and the music at the same time, but obviously justice took precedent. There were so many assessments, so the music kind of went a bit on the back burner. But 2020, this has been our year for us, and we've been able to get our album out. The album is called Silver Spoon. I might hand over to Yolanda. She can discuss a bit more about that. Basically, so we are releasing an album. It is due for release on November 22nd on all major streaming platforms. The first single off the album, which is what you just saw, is called Barbie Doll. And basically, Barbie Doll, we wrote that to empower women to not feel like they have to conform to how men want them to be or how men perceive women to be. And so it's a girl power anthem. We're trying to make a stance. We don't want to be your generic pop writers that write about love and breakups and things like that. We want to be able to send a message to our listeners who can relate to us and sing every lyric like it's their song, basically. So
we love a movement like that. Absolutely,
Yes.
you know.
Now, Yolanda, is Jasmine the bossy one?
Okay, between you and me, she definitely is.
Yeah.
I can still hear you.
I'm well aware. I know what it's like. I know what it's like.
Right.
I mean, we're not related, but, we're very similar. Oh.
But tell us, girls, like with the creative process, just quickly because we've got to wrap it up shortly. But is it easy to work together because you know each other so well, obviously?
It's funny. Yes, the short answer is yes, but there's also there were a couple of tracks off that album where Yasmin started writing and sort of went off on this different tangent, and I sort of listened to it and I was like, are we actually going to do this? But the thing is, ready to go home. We've never disagreed on anything before, and I was sort of wondering have we sort of moved to different tastes in music? But then when and this is Barbie Doll was one of them actually, to be quite honest. And when the song sort of came together, I'm like, wow, I'm really proud of you, and I'm sorry for doubting you.
Well done.
Well, we love you, and what we want is when all of this is over, we want to be watching you live. That's
Thank
what we
you.
want.
Yes.
Yeah, lovely. Look, we wish you all the best with your album release. Obviously, your details is going to be up on our show notes and through the notes and everything like that. So thank you so much for joining us. And
Thank you
take
so
care.
much.
And great message. We love it.
Mwah.
Thank you. Mwah. Thank you so much for having us.
Judy Kelly with more from Joy News. The dictionary website, dictionary.com, has released its biggest ever update with 15,000 additions or modifications in response to rapidly changing social movements, including Black Lives Matter and LGBTQ+ visibility. Lexicographers developed a new capitalised entry for black in reference to people and have also added a separate capitalised entry for pride. Dictionary.com has added several LGBTQ plus terms, including ace, ambisextrous, asexual, biromantic, and gender inclusive. And over 50 entries have been redefined to reflect and respect how LGBTQ plus people use language and to help eliminate heterosexual bias in language. September is Bisexual Visibility Month, and over a dozen organisations in Australia and New Zealand have come together to create a 10-day conference for bi plus communities. The Stand By Us 2020 conference will celebrate community, visibility and expression, as well as reflecting on the progress made since the first Bisexual Visibility Day in 1999. The programme will have 37 virtual and, where possible, in-person events, including workshops, panel discussions and meet-up groups. The Stand By Us conference runs from the 18th to the 27th of September. And finally, ABC Goulburn Valley reports an anonymous baker in northwest Victoria has been gifting homemade baked goods to locals. Residents of the Indigo Valley have been finding cookie gift packs in their letterboxes left by the mystery baker, now dubbed the Biscuit Fairy. A note accompanies each pack of biscuits with a message of love and support for the small community who are still under Stage 3 COVID-19 restrictions. That's the latest from Joy TV News. I've been Judy Kelly. Now it's back to Kerrie and Dolly.
Judy, Lauren,
Yes.
do it again, as always,
Love
each
them.
and every week.
Love them.
Right, we're going to have another chat. Who are we chatting with, honey?
Well, I've waited and I've waited and I will wait no longer. This young man, it is not a festival without him. And he opened our show tonight, didn't he?
He did. That was fantastic.
Oh, I love it. And he joins us right now, the one and only Trevor Jones.
Hello!
Oh!
So great to be here finally.
We are very excited to have you too. And you have brought the goods with that jacket, sir.
Yes.
I try my best. You know, a little something for you.
Oh, I think you'd have quite the wardrobe, I would imagine,
You
being
know
the
it.
ultimate
You know it.
performer that you
Yeah.
are.
And of course, it had to move to New Zealand with me. And that was, that was quite a cost. But it's worth it, I believe.
Yes.
Like that fascinator, that's worth every cent.
Thank you.
I'm obsessed.
You're
I'm
obsessed.
I want
the
one.
close up. You want one?
Yes.
That can be arranged.
Yes.
DM me,
Is
darling.
please tell me there's a matching mask because that would give me life.
Can do. That can be done.
All right, great. Done.
Now, what is life like in New Zealand?
Yeah, look, it's kind of very surreal. I'm not sure I would recommend to anyone to move to a new country in the year of a global pandemic. If anyone wants life advice, that's probably the first thing I'd say. It's so strange being here where we're under fairly limited restrictions at the moment. There's not a lot that we can't do in Christchurch. I'm on the South Island. Of course, Auckland's not in as good a state. But, I'm thinking of all my friends in Melbourne and it just breaks my heart. And it's so strange being here. But, where the place that I'm teaching at, I'm able to teach regular classes. We've got students in the building. We have performances of a show happening at the moment. So it's pretty much life as normal apart from a little bit of social distancing. It's amazing.
That's really good. And Trevor, what took you to New Zealand?
So I got a position as the program leader. It's a very formal title. The program leader of the National Academy of Singing and Dramatic Art, which is part of ARA Institute. It's the only Bachelor of Music Theatre offered in New Zealand. So I'm leading that course, which is really exciting to be teaching the next generation of amazing New Zealand performing artists, musical theatre, actors, singers, dancers, and it's just such a great place to be. I'm loving it.
Oh, gee, aren't they they're lucky to have Trevor?
Well,
aren't
they
Wow.
bloody well are.
Yeah.
And on that note, is there anyone like you, budding you in the mix?
I don't think there's anyone like me anywhere, Dolly. And if there was,
Good answer. Very good
and if
answer.
there was, I'd take them out because they're my competition. No!
You'd pull
Not
those
at
pearls
all.
off and throw them across the stage. Showgirl
Yeah,
stuff.
I hope so. It's so exciting to see. You know what it's like when people are studying their performing arts. They're just finding themselves as performers, and it's always really exciting to see that first time someone plays and sings in front of people, or plays guitar and sings. or even just does something as themselves. Because I think what I bring that's a bit different is that everything I do as myself. I'm not a musical theatre performer that plays a character. And of course, we're training them mostly to play a character, but for them to know that they can step on stage and just be themselves and be totally and utterly them is really liberating, and it's exciting to see that come to life for them. So hopefully we'll nurture some at some point, but no competition.
I mean, but how fortunate for you, though, Trevor, to be working during these times. I know, of course, we're seeing all of our mates out of work, as you know, but it's just wonderful that you are in a position that you are, and also to offer these amazing students to, you know, on the way up, all of your incredible experience. Yes.
I feel so fortunate that, you know, absolutely. I'm full-time employed. I haven't had the struggle that I see so many of my artist friends going through. I did a whole lot of live streams during our lockdown. I was doing a nightly live stream and trying to raise funds for the Actors Benevolent Trust, because, you know, there's so many actors that are struggling and performers that are struggling, musicians. What a time, hey? 2020.
Yeah, and we are loving it, isn't it? We're all just
time
loving
of our lives, but we are loving this. We are loving this
we
part
are
of
loving
it.
this. Yeah.
Well,
now,
and it's so wonderful that you can do this.
You love your divas. What is your next number, my darling?
Well, I had a little bit of a dig into the Australian diva catalogue. And doesn't everyone love a diva?
Oh,
everyone
absolutely.
loves a diva. And, you know, Australia, exactly. We have evidence right in front of us. And Australia has produced more than its fair share of divas in pop music, let me tell you. And, of course, the wonderful Kylie. And I don't want to give these too many things away, but I thought, wouldn't it be fun to smash them all up into one giant medley?
Oh, yes. Great. Well, we're going to have a listen to that right now, Trevor. Thank you so much for joining us all the way over in NZ. Just another little feather in our cap for our global audience and, you know, participation. Global, darling. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's beautiful to be here. Mwah.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. I know you'll get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. My little baby sister can do it with ease. It's easier than learning your ABCs. So come on, do the locomotion with me. You know this one. I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, your loving is all I think about. I just can't get you out of my head. Boy, it's a deal that I dare to think about. Every night, every day, just to be there in your arms. Like shout, like the lightning from up above, and from the heaven that brings me love from a man who respects me as my mind as well as my body. No retreat and no surrender, equal to you regardless of gender. Give me love that is warm and tender. That's why I gotta tell you, you and I are the same mind. It seems to me we're one of a kind. Open the door to my heart, it stopped, and I'm shocked. Say you won't leave me no more. I'll take you back again. No more excuses, no, no. 'Cause I've heard them all before, 100 times or more. I'll forgive and forget. Never say you'll never go. 'Cause it's true what they say. It's better the devil you know. Of course, Australian music isn't all just Kylie. There are several other amazing female icons in the Australian music catalogue, like, of course, the amazing Tina Arena. 'Cause I'm in jail. I'm in jail. I'm in chains. One of my very favorites, though. I love the lyrics of this song so much because they're so silly. But this one, hey mom, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you teach me a thing or two? Sing it out. So I won't under a bus. God, I love it. I won't hit Natalie Imbruglia. I could do songs by all of them, but because of time, I'm going to jump forward to the amazing Delta Goodrum, because I was born to try. I've learned to love, be understanding, and believe in life. You gotta make choices, be wrong or right. Sometimes you gotta sacrifice the things you like, but I was born to try. And I wouldn't be an Australian medley without something by the Queen of Pop herself, Olivia Newton-John. A place nobody dared to go, the love that we came to know, they call it Xanadu. Here we go. Xanadu, Xanadu. Now we are here in Xanadu. Now that I'm here, now that you're here in Xanadu. Now that I'm here, now that you're here in
Yay! And what a great one to finish off on. I want to hit that high note, but I won't.
Xanadu.
Lovely. That was huge fun.
Trevor Jones.
Quick shout out hello to Joe Bull from Switchboard Victoria, who's been on our show before and watches. Hi Joe, thanks for tuning in.
And the one and only Queen Patricia. Oh,
Thanks for
where
the
would
comment.
we be without you, my dear?
We've had such a great show tonight. Thank you to each and every one that has been on, and for all of you for joining in. Next week we're in for another ripper.
We're ready.
We've got Khan Ong from MasterChef and comedian Kate McLennan.
And the one and only Trevor Ashley.
I'm so excited for
we're
that
ready,
one.
ready.
Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe. Reach out if you need. See you then.
Night-night.
Take care. Good night.